I got the usual suspects, Guru, Cat Five, Tie Through. We all in the building today, man. First of all, I want to give a shout out before we even get started. This is Roberto Clemente's day. That's where everybody in the league right now, certain people that got 21s, they take their names off because this is his day. So shout out to the late great Roberto Clemente. Guru, talk to the people, man. What's going on?
Uh, we in the thick of things, fellas. 2 weeks left. Let's see what these teams got. Gonna talk about some players here that need to step up or need to contribute to the team, and happy to be back. I'm taking the week off, so let's get into it. Let's talk baseball, fellas.
Cat Five, what's going on, man?
Not much, man. Like I said in that little promo video, man, I'm excited. It's been a long time coming with these X Factors. So, apologies to the viewers. We said we were going to get to this a while ago, and we're just now getting around to it. But we got a good show for you. So,
Oh, it's loaded. It's loaded because I think Ty got a lot of stuff going on too, man. Ty, let him know what's going on, man.
You know me. I go with the flow. When it comes to the dish, this main course that's been a long time coming, this entree that we've been trying to serve for a minute, it needs to come out, and it's going to be very, very pristine, very appetizing. And I want to say thank you to my co-host here and my fellow partners in crime for making this so hard because it took so damn long. You know how many X Factors I didn't flip back and forth with? Damn.
my whole list is done like 3 turnovers.
Yeah. So, I mean, my list of X Factors is worse than a doctor's prescription. There's so much chicken scratch going on right now, but we're going to get through it.
You know what? We're gonna start on this headache right now, man. And I'm gonna get the controls to Jorge, man. Start off with your X factors in the NL. Am I right about that? You're gonna start on the NL first?
Yes, sir.
Take it away.
So I'm gonna start off with one of the teams just because I have it on the top of the list, and I guess you guys can go after me and just say what you guys got to say on that side. I'm gonna go with the Cincinnati Reds. Your team category. My X factor for them is actually Jonathan India, man, their leadoff guy. He's the spark plug to that lineup, and I think the Reds made a smart choice by sticking with the kid, even though through 26 games he only had 1 home run and an OPS of 616, which is not all that great. But since then, this year, he's actually batting .272, 20 home runs, 128 hits, 65 RBIs, and a slugging .465. And he's taken that second base position by the throat, man. He's taken the opportunity, and he's in the running for Rookie of the Year. I don't know if he's necessarily going to win it because Miami's Trevor Rogers, he's been really good for them. But I think he's their X factor. And just to let you guys know, this month, he has 14 hits and 52 at-bats. He has a .269 average with 6 RBIs in 12 games. So I think that's where I'm going with this, man. Jonathan India is a spark plug, like I said, on the top of the lineup, and he has power in the top of the lineup with 20 home runs. If he can get hot and stay hot, I think the Reds make it in the playoffs. And please, Reds, make it into the playoffs, because I've been saying it since the middle of the year. Make me look smart.
You know what's crazy about India is his invite to camp this year was because they'd already decided all the guys they wanted to invite, and they had another slot to fill.
Oh wow!
And he was the last guy.
And he was the invite, yeah.
Wow.
And then he ends up taking the starting position at second.
That's great, man. It's like a walk-on, a walk-on in college and just taking the position. That's great. Well, who do you got category since you mentioned that?
Man, okay. So like I said, my list has had a lot of turnover. for a long time, I went back and forth between Kyle Farmer, who is just having a career year by every measure. The guy's been on an absolute tear since a little bit before the break. Really kind of coincided with Vado's run here, but he's hit safely in some. I didn't go back and look at it again today, but it's something like 85% of the games they've played since then. He's hitting like 320-ish since the break. I also considered Vlad Guiterrez. You know, this guy's a rookie, kind of came out of nowhere and gave him a really solid starting option there at the back of the rotation. He hasn't had a single outing without giving up an earned run this year, but he's thrown a lot of quality starts in there and helped them win some games, even when he didn't get the decision. So I feel like that would be a good pick too. But at this point, given how bad the Reds have been in the last few weeks, they've lost 5 consecutive series. They're about to drop 2 straight to the Pirates if the score right now holds up, and that'll be a 6th consecutive series. You know, they're not getting it done. They're not beating the teams they're supposed to beat. And guess who's not in the lineup right now? Jesse Winker. This is a team that is the way this team is constructed is they're not going to go out there and overpower you on the mound. You can't count on them to give up no runs or even 1 or 2 most days. They're going to go out there and outscore you. And that's what they haven't been doing without Winker in the lineup here lately. So that's my X factor right there. I don't really need to go into what he's done this year. We've been talking about him all season, but he's not in and they're not winning. So that's my X factor.
Good choice. Good choice. It's funny because I went back and forth between India and Winker, and I actually chose Winker. The only reason why is because India strikes out way more. So category 5 is right and spot on when it comes to, you know, somebody you wouldn't expect to have such a big impact on the game for the Reds. And I even consider some of the pitchers, but the pitchers have been so wishy-washy. All of them, between Wade Miley, between Castillo, I mean, all of them have been, even Gray, even Sonny Gray. So I had to go Jesse Winker just because he's been, you know, the standard and steady all season. And, you know, when he's not in, they feel it. They need his bats. They need him to get on base. They need him, you know, to just be solid. And when it comes postseason time and you're this Reds team, take whatever you can get, because you guys have like a lineup that has, you know, veterans who are very savvy and can get timely hits, or one swing at the bat can get you a home run. You have a couple of those guys, but Winker is going to be the one who's going to be the difference between solo shots or 2-run, 3-run homers.
And for the record, the reason I didn't consider India as my X factor is because outside of that slow start, he's been the same guy all season long. You know what you're going to get out of him. As long as he's healthy, it's not that much of a factor because his production is going to be there. So, and then, you know, Votto being the face of the franchise, he's just doing what your franchise guy is supposed to do. So
true.
So that's the reason why I went with Jonathan India, because I knew that it wasn't going to be Votto, and I knew you guys were going to pick Winker. I've been doing this so long enough, and I was like, you guys are going with Winker. I know it.
No, you didn't.
Don't act like you know me, Jorge.
Okay, is there any other team that's behind Cincinnati that y'all want to mention in that particular X factor that y'all think?
Do we want to give any team just a regular mention?
Honorable mention.
I'm just throwing the lob. I'm throwing the lob.
Or should we stay in the same division? Should we just stay in the Central? Because there's another surprise team.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. It's on Utah.
All right. So I'm ready for this one. And shout out to, you know, my screenshot here. I think that's the best X factor of all time. Rogers right there. That's the guy. So he started it all and finished it all with, just the flap of his arms. And if you haven't seen Angels, now feel something wrong with you. It's one of the greatest baseball movies of all time. But either way, my X factor for the Cardinals. Shout out to Jay Ham, probably the only Cardinal fan I know. Seriously, really. I'm gonna go young, and I'm gonna say Tyler O'Neill is gonna be my X factor for the Cardinals. You look at what he's done this season, despite being behind Paul Goldschmidt, besides being behind Arenado, Tyler has been, key as far as to their success and their resurgence. To come out of nowhere with the RKO and remind us that the Cardinals, are that team that despite whatever roller coaster ride they want to go on, they figure it out and they're right where they're supposed to be amongst the postseason discussion. And that's just every year consistently. I don't know how they do it. But you look at, his last month, I mean, he almost hit 400. And that's insane. I mean, you factor, the runs batted in, the home runs, aren't, spectacular, but 8 home runs in 30 games, that's not bad. So I'll take it. He may even, give you some solid base running, and still a base or two, not a lot, but he can do that for you when he's on the bases. So that's going to be my X factor. Give it to the young kid. Salute to him.
I'll go next. Just to let you guys know, as far as the people that aren't really familiar with the standings, Cincinnati, who we just talked about, was in the second wild card spot until yesterday, until my Mets decided to lose in the 11th inning after putting in a pitcher that hasn't pitched in a month.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome. How do you think I felt? So Cincinnati is now out of a half game out of the wild card spot, and St. Louis is a half game up, while the Dodgers have a 17-game lead. So the Dodgers are already in the wild card spot. It just
and clinched, by the way.
Huh? Yeah.
And
so it just
9 seasons straight.
Anyway, let's keep going with the show. It just depends whether the Giants or the Dodgers win the division. We'll see. As far as St. Louis go, I told you guys I have a three-headed monster for their X factor. I'm gonna go with the 3 Gold Glove winners they have in the infield: Arenado, Goldschmidt, and Molina. Who else in the league can say that in those 3 positions with those 3 players they have 20 Gold Gloves between them? Who?
Fair
Nobody.
Nobody I know.
They're
one of them is the probably second most important defensive position on the field.
Yes. So you have basically Molina, who's been doing it seems like forever. Like he's been around forever and he's still doing it. I don't know how his knees.
As Ham likes to say, since JT Barrett was a freshman.
Yeah.
Chris Olave now. It's all about Chris Olave.
That's right.
So I don't listen. That leadership, man. Like we talk about it all the time. Experience trumps everything, and those 3 have it. Those 3, have 20 Gold Gloves between them. They're also, I mean, if you look at them, the track record, probably all 3 going to be Hall of Famers. More than likely, and that leadership to take them to the playoffs. Arenado hasn't won the World Series yet, and Molina has. He knows what it takes to get there, and he plays a position to where he can excel and bring that pitching staff to another level, which we've seen lately. Well, this entire year with Wainwright and now Lester on the team, which Lester is pitching outstanding for them, and Lester's been there too. Lester did it with Chicago. So I think those 3, with how they play defense and then what they can bring to the field, that's my X factor. We've said this We keep telling you guys, we keep giving you little snippets. We said this at the beginning of the year. The Cardinals are a team, if they stick around, they find a way. Don't ask me, don't ask us how, but it just happens. And we've also said that the Central generally generates 2 or 3 playoff teams. And right now, you're seeing the other 2 Central teams are in the running for the second wild card, which is St. Louis and Cincinnati. But one of them probably is going to get in because we talked about San Diego. They have a horrible schedule, death row schedule, and they have to earn it. But I go with them through. What do you guys, Storms?
So this is another team I went back and forth on quite a bit. So I have a 2-pronged X factor for the Cardinals. Like you were saying, one is just that culture, man. It's just another year and another time that they're in playoff position with half a month left. They are always, always, always here, no matter how bad they are early in the season, no matter how much you count them out. They're plug and play just like the Rays, man. They get the best out of everybody. They made 2 of probably the most underrated trades at the deadline this year, grabbing Lester and J.A. Happ, and 2 guys that just about everybody thought probably were pretty washed, and they've just been fantastic. And however, here's the thing, and this brings me to my other X factor. Are John Lester and J.A. Happ guys that you're going to trust at their age with the mileage in October? With the mileage of a full season on their arm. You can't. I mean, you can trust them, but you can't count on them. They're past that point of their careers. So
I trust Lester as well as he throws to first base. That's how much I trust him, which is pretty bad.
That's for folks who don't know, that's zero trust right there.
Yes.
John Lester, and this is just a guess, but I'd imagine it's not even that far off, has probably made 12 throws to first base in his career, and he's missed 10 of them.
Wow.
But and I thought about Goldie too. I was looking at him. He had a really slow start to the season, but he's only gotten better and better as the years worn on. But for me, and because of how much they're relying on these older veterans and guys that you don't know if you can trust in October, it's going to be Jack Flaherty and his health. He's on the 10-day again. He's only started 14 times this year. But he's flirting with a 3 ERA and a 1 WHIP. If he comes back and is his best self, they're going to have a chance to make some noise in the playoffs.
I was going to leave Tyler O'Neill on the island. I get it. They don't like the youth in St. Louis.
Go ahead, Storms. Open up with the next team. Give the people watching the standings too, as far as where they sit, so that way they know.
We can go east or we can go west.
All right. I'm not gonna lie, man. I don't have much on the Mets. They're just a hot mess. I mean, and I'm not even trying to throw shade, man. There's just nothing that I trust about that organization as long as Jacob deGrom is inactive. Period.
Where is the shade? Because I can throw it.
No, Trav, we don't need that. And Storms, I used to like you before you said that.
So the Mets right now are 4 games back from the Cardinals. So we got 5 teams within 4 games. So this is a great race. And the Mets have been playing a little better recently, but I mean, when you got to rely on things like getting 3 home runs out of 1 guy to get a W, I just I distrust this team so much I didn't even pick an X factor.
I did, but it doesn't really matter.
Right. It's just not Guru. I'm sorry, bro. It's just not happening this year.
I mean, that's fine. And, you know, it's, to be honest, the reason why
That's how you know it's not fine.
No. The reason why I picked the X Factor is because they've been freaking horrible as of late. Is the bullpen.
Don't pick Rich Hill. Don't pick Rich Hill.
The bullpen. The bullpen has been horrible. I went to, you know, most of the games here in DC when they played the Nationals, and the bullpen cannot hold a lead. They were up in a point in a game 8-0, and the Nationals came back to tie it, and then they wound up winning in extras. But why did it have to go 2 extras for you guys to win it? You know what I mean? And it's just something to where it gives me headaches, you know, and it's like they have names, they have the arms back there, but it's just like they can't hold a lead. They can't, I don't know. They don't hit, they just come out and like, they're like, all right, cool. We have 3-run lead. I'm going to let a couple of runners get on and then let them tie with a home run. That's cool.
That's my thing. Is Stroman is the only trustworthy pitcher on your entire active roster.
Pretty much.
Yeah, right now, yeah.
Not Carrasco for sure.
Carrasco has not been good. He had one good outing, I think his last outing, and that's about it. I mean, the only other good thing I can say is that Javi Baez has been really hot since joining the Mets. He's hit 9 home runs, .310 batting average, and he's only struck out 36 times in 33 games.
Well, and that's my other thing is if you're going to pick an X factor, it's got to be him. But he's already on a tear, and it's not helping that much.
It's because of the pitching. That's what it is. It's the pitching. The pitching's been horrible. They've been terrible.
Well, and it's more than that too, though. Like I feel like it's cultural with them. Like just. Your club is not in a good state when your players are openly talking shit to the fans and the media.
The thing is that this is year 1 of a new owner. He took over a hot mess, and I didn't expect. Well, I kind of expected them to make probably the playoffs, and I probably overshot that, you know, because they added Lindor. And then they still have players that can contribute. Injuries didn't help them, but at the same time, injuries happen to every team. You know,
that's fair. But I will say in your defense, like, because you can't anticipate injuries, and when a guy like DeGrom is on your roster, regardless of his injury history, you have confidence.
Yeah. So.
Y'all both wrong, by the way, with your X. Well, actually, not both, because Storms didn't really pick one. And while a whole bullpen can't be an X factor, that's just come on, that's just taking the easy route. So actually, my X factor for the Mets, when I thought about this, and I went back and forth, I'm going to stick with the polar bear. When he was doing somewhat well, you guys were in the conversation and doing well as a team. And then he started sucking again and striking out a lot more and barely hitting 200 within I think the last week or so. And your runs are gone pretty much. I mean, Baez can only do so much. So I'm going with Alonso. Like the polar bear is very important with, you know, his 30 plus home runs and his, you know, his power. So if he can, you know, bring in runs, you guys stand a chance to actually like not put so much pressure on that bullpen. But the bullpen's trash, so never mind. But I'm gonna go with the polar bear for the X factor for the Mets on that one.
Yeah, Baez strikes out too much to do his little okey doke slide once a game.
I don't like you using Mets and trash in the same sentence. Okay, that goes for another team in Houston. Thank you very much. All right.
I was impressed with the Subway Series. You guys did well in the Subway Series. I'll give you that. But clearing benches and fighting, that's not going to get you anywhere in the postseason except for, you know, on recurring, you know, TV clips.
Hey, as long as Lindor hits 3 home runs in one game and we win the game, they can clear the benches all they want. All right.
That's the excuse.
Speaking of the Mets.
Show some love to the people.
Speaking of the Mets, on a good note, Please watch Once Upon a Time in Queens. They already showed the first two. They're gonna show the other two later. It's good. They got the Cocaine Boys with Kevin Mitchell there too. You gotta love it. So that's all positive I gotta say about the Nets. But
And that was in '86.
and that was in '86.
You know what's crazy to me about that team
Yeah.
is they traded Mitchell in '87 because they said he was the bad influence.
Yeah. So
Good call out. Good call out.
Back in '86, you get to taste of your building.
we got Jimmy Pujols in the comments. He said also pretty fortunate, and they are more of a product of the other teams for being poor. I don't know if he's talking about the Mets or who, but if he's talking about the Mets, he's right, because the Mets were in first place from like May to right after the All-Star game.
I
And it was
tried to
because of
tell
injuries and
y'all.
stuff like that. So
Honestly, right now you can
can't
say
tell
that
nobody
about,
nothing, all right?
honestly, right now you can say that about every team in this race, because the Padres have been ass for 2.5 months. The Reds have been ass for the last month.
I knew
The
he was gonna
Cardinals
say
were
that.
ass for the first month.
Yeah.
The Braves are in first place because the Mets and the Phillies were ass most of the year. So, I mean,
We got Doug on Facebook. He hasn't wrote a comment, but he's watching us. What's up, Doug? If you got any comments, any team you want us to talk about, say whatever you like on Facebook, man. Say it in the comments.
Man, I got Big Shot off in the YouTube, man. That man said Mets equal must see, read baseball. They always got something for you.
At
And
least
you
they
know
can
what?
fight.
Next week I ain't on the show. That's it. I'm on strike. I'm on strike until the playoffs starts because I don't want to hear it no more.
Come on, Jorge, come on, Guru. You got a 30 for 30. You got,
Yeah,
bench
30 for
clearing
30 from
brawls.
1986, bro. Like,
I don't want to put your age out there, but how old were you when 86? You wasn't even thought about.
I was born. No, I was born that year.
Oh.
But so I don't know if I was a good luck charm or it was just something else they were doing in the clubhouse. But
Don't count.
so
I mean,
yeah.
how many times have they won since? You think you're that much of a good luck charm?
Hey, I appreciate you. Damn, songs.
He's gonna go on a sabbatical, definitely.
Yes. I love
My bad, bro.
Guru's gonna go on leave.
I knew I should have never picked the X Factor for Cincinnati. I knew it. I should just stay quiet. So let's go. Let's go on to the
stick in the East.
Yeah, let's stick in the East. I'm gonna stick with the Philadelphia Phillies. But just so y'all know, the Phillies are still in the race. They're 3 games back of the wild card of St. Louis right now, and they were a team that came out really hot at the All-Star break to a point to where they were in first place for a couple of days, weren't they? Out of the All-Star break because they were so hot, and they are a team that has been hot and then cooled off hot, but they've been having one person that's been consistent. And I am gonna say it right now, as much as we have said that this man is not the MVP, he has been their hottest player, and he's the reason why they're still in the race. Bryce Harper. Bryce Harper has to get some recognition.
Boo this man.
Like I said, hold on. Like I said,
Give him the
everybody's
bias.
saying everybody's saying that he should get some recognition for MVP, but we're all saying hold on, calm your horses. He is holding them afloat, and if he does wind up being MVP, he has to earn it. And by earning it, I don't mean them missing the playoffs, being hot. I want them to make the playoffs and outscore these teams and beat these teams, because the teams that they're playing, they have the easiest schedule out of all these teams left. We've gone through the schedule. This wild card literally is for the Philadelphia Phillies to lose. That's how easy their schedule is. And right now, they're losing it because they have gone 4-8 in their last 12 games. It's not any good. That's not going to get you nowhere. That's going to get you sitting at home watching on the couch the playoffs. But Bryce Harper, he's been doing everything he can since the beginning of the month. He's hit 6 home runs, 10 RBIs, 13 hits in 12 games, and is batting .260. The problem is not him or him not doing his part. It's their bullpen. Their bullpen and their pitching is what's not holding up. But I think if they get hot enough and if they get Wheeler and Nola rolling, and they can come up with an extra win here and there, I think they can sneak in. They still have a chance. They're only 3. Like I said, their schedule is easy and they're only 3 games back. They can make that up in 1 week. They have 2 left. Let's see what happens. Who do you got, Storms, as far as your X factor?
I don't like it, but I got Bryce too. So I went off on this man about how he cannot be the MVP because most valuable player is not best player. Okay, if you're not driving in runs, you're not helping your team win, and therefore you're not the most valuable player. This man has actually answered the bell on that.
Yep.
He's put up 37 RBIs since August 3rd. So now I've got another challenge for him. It's not.
No, don't have another challenge for him because he's gonna pull through.
I got another challenge for him because I want to see both of you set. He has 73 RBI right now with 18 games left. Bryce, if you finish the season with 90, at 17 RBIs in 18 games, including they're playing tonight, right?
Yeah.
Yes, they up 5 against the Cubs
tonight. So that includes tonight, whatever he's done so far. If you finish with 90 RBI and everybody else does their job, I will be shocked if your season ends on October 3rd.
Okay, he's spoken.
And the thing about it is, I think we got some sneaky eyes watching us because y'all do not understand how hard. It's 2 things that the dish go hard on, especially this year. They've been going hard on the Boston Red Sox, and they've been going hard on Bryce Harper. And one of them, it's been working out because we told you Cat 5 told y'all plenty of times they're gonna be 10 games back, and they 9 or 10 games out right now. And Bryce. Ever since we had that conversation about who was in the MVP voting, that was like after the All-Star break. Am I right about that?
Mm-hmm.
Bryce stepped up, man. So, hey, Ty, who you got, man?
So, since they did a 3-headed monster, I'm gonna be modest here, and because I was going back and forth between these two, because at one point he was kind of really important to the Phillies' success. But he has also been really, really bad this year. One was Andrew McCutchen. If I told me he was going to hit 70 RBIs this year, I'd be like, who? So, I mean, that's no disrespect to the player he is, but Kutch is like, 35, something like that. And his best days are behind him. The Pirates took all of his thunder, but he was really, really important as far as for the Phillies' success, other than he who shall not be named that rhymes with Rice Sharper. But anyway, the other guy, and I hope I'm saying this right because I'm not sure if it's Jean Segura, El Mambo himself. He's a guy that gets on base consistently, runs the bases really well. He can steal a base or two. Not a master thief, but he can get you some stolen bases. So that was my 2-headed monster for the Phillies right there. When both of them were on, the Phillies were winning games. Both of them are kind of, well, Segura's coming back a little bit, but both of them have like had, the rough end of August and a rough start to September, and the Phillies are struggling to beat the Cubs. So am I right or am I right?
I like that, man. Segura is a guy who's criminally underrated.
Very.
He's like you said, he is an absolute on base machine.
Yeah, definitely. And in his 30s, like no one talks about him, but he's, been that guy. And I don't know, it's because, the Phillies haven't been that team. But it is what it is. And if they make it to, the postseason, maybe he'll finally get some recognition that he deserves.
Fellas, are we ready to go to the AL?
We got the West.
Well, we got the West, yeah.
Man, we know what the West is, man.
I ain't gonna lie.
There isn't much that we have to say about the Dodgers, but there's a lot that we got to say about the Padres.
Well, you know what?
Where's Germ when you need him? Where's Germ when you need him?
Oh my God!
He wanted the Padres, right? And what did I say? They weren't ready.
He would have went. He would have had a field day because he would have talked about one player the whole damn time. I know him. I know what he'll do. But if y'all want to go,
and you would have argued with him about that one player the whole damn time.
Well, I sure would have.
Yep, that's how he knows. That's how Trav knows.
What was that? They're both 6'3". They have 6'3" wingspan.
I mean, they got 6'3" arms.
That was great.
But if y'all, I mean, we didn't talk about it, but if y'all want to elaborate on the Padres and why they downfall besides they death row schedule, Cat 5, be my guest. Go right at it.
All right. So one thing we've been beating the Padres up about all year long is their starting pitching. They have got to get some innings out of these guys. If you cannot win in October if you got to count on your bullpen throwing 5 or 6 innings a game. It's not going to work. They're going to get worn down, and game 6 or 7 of a series, if you get that, they wouldn't get to a 7-game series. So actually, let's cut it down. Game 5, if they get to a game 5 in the DS, every arm in their bullpen is going to be exhausted, and they're going to come out and they're going to give up runs. So I have another 2-pronged X factor. It's the entire starting pitching staff. Y'all got to get it together. And then the other thing for me is the guy Trav doesn't want to talk about is Fernando Tatis. The reason I'm bringing him up here is he's moving because of the injury to Cronenworth. He's moved back to short. I think, and I will say I was wrong in what I said before when we were talking about that, saying that I think it would be a benefit. And this is the exception to the rule, I feel like, too, because I said I thought it would be beneficial for Tatis not to be the most important offensive player and the most important defensive player on the field. But what I'm seeing now is they're not responding to they're not playing with his energy now. That's what they did when he was playing at shortstop, and that's when the team went as he went. Now he's out there and he can go out and go 3 for 4 and drive in 3 runs and they still lose. Part of that's on the pitching too, but that's why I got both the rotation and Tatis as my X factors. Because I think it's going to be important him getting back to the not just the most important defensive position on the field, but it's because the shortstop gets so many balls. He's going to be more involved in the game, and they're going to have more chances to get behind him and his energy, and that's something they're going to need if they're going to make it through this gauntlet of a schedule they got coming up.
Go ahead,
Well,
Ty.
I'm gonna go ahead and slide on in, and while I support, let's say the whole starting rotation of the Padres, like, because if you would have honestly, if you'd have told me this season that Musgrove was going to be pretty much your ace, I would have laughed at you. I mean, you bring in Snell, you bring in Darvish. Musgrove was not supposed to be the guy this season, but he's been the guy consistently throughout the whole season. And when you think of the other pitchers, Paddock, Arrieta, it's like, man, even Darvish, what's been going on? What's the problem? But I believe, other than, the starting pitching, you gotta, bring up Hosmer. And because you can't blame Machado. Machado, he's done his part. You know, 24 home runs, 90 RBI, something like that. He's done what he's supposed to do as far as just his job. Hosmer, like, you needed a little bit more production from him. You need him to, go back to what he could do back in his KC days. And he hasn't been doing that this season. So even his early San Diego, days, because Hosmer's 31, 32. So if they had better production from him offensively, you wouldn't rely on, the guy who's doing everything in the damn stadium, to take care of business. And literally, y'all know who he is. He's, the only person that is a consensus NL MVP, despite the health and his injuries and missing games. He's still, the guy. So help Tatis out. Tatis has been Kevin Hart all season. He's like, help me. And like I said, Machado, you can't blame him. But Hosmer, I can blame you.
I gotta go. As much as you guys are, spot on, and I love the points you guys make. I've said it all year. I've said it last year, and I continue to say it. They go as Tatis goes. That's my X factor for him, man. And he may be playing outfield, maybe going back to short. I think he been playing shortstop as of late. There was news about.
He's back at shortstop.
There was news. I was gonna say there was news about him going back to shortstop that I heard. And it's just that's their firecracker. They go as he goes, and he's gonna take them, or they're gonna go as far as he takes them. The pitching has, like you said, Musgrove has been their ace, and he's been fantastic. Snell has been fantastic as of late as well. And shout out to him. Storms brought that up to us was it a week ago or something so that you were saying that Snell has been going to the 6th, 7th inning, something we haven't seen in Tampa Bay. And that's, fantastic he's doing that. He legit looked like his Cy Young self again. And Darvish has pick it up. That's the one missing piece for them. But I think Tatis is the guy. They paid him that money, they gave him that money, they put the weight on his shoulders, and he has to pull through. For a team that did so well last year in a short year, and for them to have World Series aspiration this year, if they don't make the playoffs, that's going to be a tough pill to swallow. And that's going to be, that's taking, while they took 2 steps forward, it's like taking 3 steps back this year. You know what I mean?
Call Roger. That's what they need to call. They need angels in the outfield.
The rally monkey before there was a rally monkey, right?
They need
God.
They need Mel Clark. That's who they need.
That's who they need. Oh man. But yeah, that's who my X factor is from. And actually, you know what? Let's switch over to the AL. I'll start out with one of the AL teams. How about we let's start out in the East, because it's crazy. In the East, we actually have 3 teams vying for a playoff spot. And actually, all 3 of them are within half a game of both wildcard spots. Toronto right now is in the first wildcard spot. Hey, I told you guys this right before and right after the All-Star break. Watch out for Toronto to make a run. and they're 8-2 in their last 10 games, and they're half a game up in the first wildcard spot. Second wildcard spot, we have Mr. Storms' favorite team, the Red Sox. They're half a game up on the Yankees, and then the Yankees are in the first spot right after the 2 wildcard spots, a half game back. And then we have Oakland and Seattle that sit both 4 games out of the wildcard spot. So we have 5 teams in the AL East with 2 spots, 4 games within each other with about 16 to play. So this is going to be a wild finish, wild finish. I'm going to start off with the team up top. I'm gonna go with Toronto. For me, their X factor is the AL Cy Young. I know that we know what Vlad brings. We know what they do, the lineup. Well, I mean, we've seen the lineup. They were shut out 6 innings against Baltimore, and then in the 7th, which was a doubleheader game, they scored 11 runs. That's crazy for a lineup to do that in 1 inning. But my X factor is Robbie Ray. How far is he going to take him? Is he going to put him on his shoulders? And when I came up with this list, I didn't think he was going to do what he did today to the Rays, to the Tampa Bay Rays. He went 7 innings. He allowed 4 hits, 1 run, and 13 strikeouts to the Rays. And right now he's 11-5, 2.69 ERA, 170 innings with 220 strikeouts, guys.
So would you say that he was sweet on the mound today?
I was getting to that. So I think Robbie Ray is the man, and he's gonna like I said, he's gonna win the Cy Young, and he's gonna carry them. He should carry them into the playoffs. We'll see. And with him and Berrios as a 1-2 punch, that's gonna be hard for any team to beat, especially with that lineup that can outscore you. And also, side note, Storms gave me this like about 2 weeks ago or so. Robbie Ray owns the all-time strikeout per 9 innings all time in all of baseball history at 11.2. That's amazing. I didn't know that, and that's a great stat there, Storms. So I'll kick it over to you.
Let's not get too carried away with that strikeout rate number, though. This is another thing. We talk a lot about how numbers are great, but they don't tell the whole story, because number 3 on that all-time list is Yu Darvish, who we just got done berating. So
yes.
But my X factor for the Blue Jays is going to be a guy that I've been talking about for a couple of months with them, is George Springer. Not even necessarily so much for the production that he brings, but he just, when he's not there, they don't win. It's like he just has a very stabilizing presence for their lineup. They don't hit well, their individual stars do well, but the rest of the team just kind of forgets how to hit when he's not around. He's got a very cohesive presence, and as long as he stays healthy and in the active lineup, whether he's in the field or DHing, they're going to have a shot to go out there and win every single day. I think it's just a mental thing for them, having a guy around who's been there and done it recently and knows what it takes to get to the World Series and win it, and being a real big leader for all these uber young megastars that they got.
I'm glad you said that, because this transitions well into my X factors for the Blue Jays. So you mentioned uber young. My X factors are actually going to be, it's another doubleheader. It's going to be the rookies. Give the rookies some. Shout out to catcher Alejandro Kirk and Alek Manoah. Some of the hottest rookies right now, as far as Alek Manoah, arguably, other than like Tristan McKenzie of the Indians, like he's probably one of the hottest pitchers right now. So Guru mentioned the 1-2 punch of Barrios and Ray. That's a solid. That's something that you can bank on. When it comes to postseason baseball, you need that third guy in the rotation to have have a big game that could either be close it out or save you one. But that third spot is key. And Alec, as a rookie, 23 years old, coming into his first postseason, possibly, he's going to be, key in, them going deep into the postseason as well as their other rookie. Because yes, they have a great lineup, great veterans talent, and they're probably getting all the headlines. Kirk has been pretty consistent. He doesn't, strike out a lot. He gets on base pretty well. So he can even get you a home run or two. So shout out to the rookies of the Blue Jays. I think they've been a big part of their success.
Guru is on you.
All right, so I'm gonna stay here with the East. I'm gonna go to the Red Sox, and I'm gonna pick them as a whole. And this goes shout out to Storms and what he said. And I'm gonna ride that wave because Storms was 100% correct in saying that.
I'm sorry, what was that?
I'm not saying it again. No, but you were 100% correct that the Red Sox defense is atrocious, and if their defense continues to play the way they were playing, they were going to be 10 games back. And at one point, they were 10 games back. Right now, they're 8 games back we're talking about the division, but they're in the second spot in the wild card. Their defense has not been any better. Their defense, they have players on the field that are playing out of position. They have players on the field to which I'm going to take Schwarber. I pick on him because, that's what I do. He plays out of position, and he played out of position for the Cubs, and he continues to do so for the Red Sox. And they're just not good defensively. And my other, actually have 2 for them. My other X factor is Chris Sale. How much is he going to give him? Me and Storms had a conversation about him. I mean, he's just coming back from Tommy John. You can't really expect a pitcher. Yes. Yeah. Okay. 2 of them. Yeah, you're right. You can't really expect the pitcher to be the pitcher that he was prior to Tommy John the first year back. But this man has been amazing in the first 5 starts. He's 3-0. He's pitched 25 innings in 5 games, and he struck out 30. So he's kind of doing his part. And if he continues to do his part, that's where my other X factor comes in. How about if he continues to do his part, but the defense falters? He's not going to win those games. They have to be better defensively and able to win those games, because as we know, as we get closer to the end of the year, there's going to be a lot tighter games, a lot more one-run games. And if you put the pressure on the defense to make a play, the team, especially a team that's not good defensively, they're probably going to make an error. And I actually have a side note about Chris Sale, and I just found this out. Chris Sale actually holds the all-time strikeouts per win at 5.26 all time. So meaning per wins that he's won, the strikeouts per wins that he has in his career, he has the most strikeouts in those wins at 5.26 all time. I did not know that. I just saw that stat and I wanted to share that with you guys.
We're throwing numbers out with Sale. We mentioned before the show, before we went live, since he came back, he passed Darvish for the number 2 spot on the all-time strikeouts per 9 list.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that may have more to do with Darvish's performances than Sale's, but either way, it's impressive.
What? Hold up. let Ty go. You go last on this. You go last on
Yes.
this.
All right.
Trav, you care
Ty
about
has to
me.
go.
See, he does love me.
I gotta go. We gonna leave.
He loves you when we're talking about the AL.
Or he wants me to be the middle child always. He doesn't want me to be the baby, or he doesn't want me to be the oldest. He wants me to be right here in the middle. Okay, I get it, Trav. But anyway, um, this one I went back and forth because like the Red Sox, like as far as scoring runs, that's how you win games for them. But they've had so many contribute this season to how many runs they put up. So I'm gonna agree with Guru. And their defense is that X factor because um, if you keep up with your lineup of averaging 4 or 5 runs or whatever, but you stop other teams from getting runs on these errors and just bad defense and bad fielding, you can actually be a contender. And unfortunately, they're not. And until they figure that out, they are who they are. And Storms called them out perfectly for that. So figure out those gloves, stick them if you have to. I don't know, some type of substance. Figure it out, Red Sox. Otherwise, shout out to my guy Brandon Patterson. You're gonna be on the sidelines early, and you ain't gonna make it to the show.
Put pine tar in the gloves, man. They're not checking the fielders.
Category 5, check us
am-
out with the Red Sox.
I am so proud of y'all. I feel like a pastor who just listened to a guest sermon and it was everything I was gonna say.
Yo, maybe find that picture. I'll put it up on my background right now. You know what picture I'm talking about.
I do. Hell, I'll put it on my background. But yeah, man, that if the Red Sox had just an average defense, we would probably be talking about whether them or the Rays is going to win the East right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's how bad this is. And to maybe expand a little more on what Guru was talking about. My second I think it's gonna be Evaldi. Because for the same reasons that you were talking about, Guru, is you can't expect great if you get it, but you can't expect the same level of play from Sale throughout because he just came back. You don't know at what point that the fatigue is going to set in and he's going to lose the velocity and start getting hit. And he's going to lose the control and the command and go out there and look like any of their other 3 starters, but yeah, man, that's just, I don't have much else to say, man. I've been saying it all year. Y'all heard it all already. So next team.
Before we go to the next team, I do have a question off on my YouTube. This is coming from Big Shot.
Oh boy.
He said, are the Blue Jays this year 03 Marlins young but talented and don't know any better? I'm going to give y'all 15 seconds to answer this. And I'm going to start out with Cat 5. Go.
No, they are 10 times better than the 03 Marlins. They're not overachieving. They're at their potential right now, and it's only going to be higher next year moving forward.
Guru?
No and no. Let me explain. No, because of what Category just said, and they're not going to blow it up like the Marlins did. So they're going to keep the team together. So
10 times is maybe an exaggeration, but they're a lot better.
Yeah, they're better.
Ty?
Oh, when I think about the 03 Marlins team, I'm sorry. I got to go with the 03 Marlins were better. Like they had a squad, a lineup, but they also had some great starting pitchers. I mean, D-Train, Carl Bavano, Brad Penny. They had a squad, just couldn't figure it out. And then they won like 90 something games, like 90, 91. Yeah. I'm not saying, Blue Jays aren't, being respectful and with, their wins, but that 03 Marlins team, they were legit.
Yeah, okay. So are they like them? Meaning, will they blow it up? Or what are your thoughts? Elaborate.
My thoughts are they're not anywhere close to making a postseason run that the Marlins team did. They're I mean, I don't think they get out the wild card. The
And you
Marlins did.
just answered the second question that popped up there, Ty. Now,
Yeah.
Guru, do you think this Blue Jay team, if they step off, if they make it to the show, they make it to the dance, you think they can take it? Go
Yeah,
all the way.
yeah. They're the one team in, as far as if you're looking at the wild card teams, tell me which one of those 5 wild card teams you say has a shot both as far as putting up runs, but also having 2 pitchers or maybe even 3 pitchers that can shut you out.
Yeah, but you think the Blue Jays are a legitimate threat to win the World Series?
No, he said if they can make a run. I said yes. I don't think they're.
Oh, okay, I misunderstood the question.
Yeah. Now, will it now?
You just, I mean, because I actually did, but you answered that. But Cat 5, do you think if they get in the dance, can they take it all the way and win the World Series?
No, they will win the wild card game, and I think they'll take the Rays to 5. I can't pick against the Rays in the DS, man. That bullpen's going to get some work, and they may not make it out of the ALCS, but they're not losing before that.
What do you got, Ty?
He already answered. He said
no. I don't think they make it out the wild
no.
card. If they do, get the wild card spot. So
I think, yeah. I think they do make it out the wild card, but like Storm said, I don't. Tampa Bay's too good, man. They're just too good.
So Ty, you think that regardless of who the other wild card team is, the Jays are going to lose that game if they are the other one of the 2 wild card teams?
Yeah, I heard me go on my sermon against young teams. What do young teams do? They let you down.
One game scenario, though. You think? I mean, like obviously, it's anything can happen, but like, give me a percentage.
Percentage?
Yeah,
come on, man.
Percentage chance they would win the wild card game. What do you like? Where are you at right now? Like 30?
I'll give them 40.
Okay.
Is that depending on who they play, or is that across the board?
It depends on who they play, but across the board, it's mainly 40. Mostly, it's just it depends. But there's so many possibles and variables with this wild card race.
I mean,
there's so much. I can't. I mean, it's the numbers are mind-boggling right here.
Let me ask you guys a follow-up question to this. Out of the wild card teams to the left, who do you guys think are the most balanced team?
Oh, that's a good
Are we
question.
staying just AL?
Just AL.
Yes, AL.
We can't say NL.
Define balance.
I don't have a better answer than the Blue Jays.
Okay, that was exactly my point. The Blue Jays are the one wild card team that makes it in. That's why I'm getting to my point. That they're the one wild card team that gets in. That's the most balanced that can go on that run because they are the most balanced. Now, I'm not saying they will, but it can happen because.
Are we saying this though because they're hot right now? I mean, because
no.
look at that. I think because I would argue that the A's could beat the Blue Jays in the wild card game.
Anything can happen in a 1-game playoff. You can have the Dodgers lose to the Phillies.
That would be lovely.
Anything can happen. But what I'm saying is they have the team, and like I said, I've been saying this, and I'm telling you guys since before the All-Star break, they're gonna go on a run, and they've gone on a run to position themselves to get into the playoffs, and that they're that one team in the wild card that can get in, and they can make some noise. they have the possible Triple Crown winner in the middle of that lineup. So
which is great, but I would after looking at it, and I hate that I'm saying this, Vic Jr., please do not watch this damn show. I take the Yankees starting pitching over the Blue Jays starting pitching.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
The sweat.
I would. Now the bullpen, different story. But
That's
great.
I don't hate that though, Ty. Like that's close to me.
Right?
That's close.
So great segue to the team we're going to be talking about.
Mhm.
New York Yankees.
Oh God.
Ooh,
I hate myself.
Go ahead.
Me.
Go ahead.
It's on
by
you.
all means, please.
By all
means,
go ahead.
So my X factor for the Yankees is Joey Gallo. We talked about how they didn't add pitching at the deadline, and their pitching has impressed us and done better than we thought they would because of not adding to that. The reason I'm going with Gallo is, I mean, let's be honest. What has he really done since he's been there?
Strike out a lot.
Right. And he's so frustrating because like, I'm not a Yankees fan, but if I was, I'd be looking at this lineup going, okay, we can't afford his strikeouts, but we can't lose his walks. But he doesn't get on base very much, but he's a left-handed bat that balances out the lineup a little more. It's like you almost can't take him out of the lineup, but you hate to see him in there because, I mean, this is not what they traded him for. I've not looked at his numbers in the last probably week and a half or so, but he's hitting something stupid like 120 or 150 since he came to the team.
Listen to this. I pulled up these numbers because it's absurd, and I looked at it earlier.
Okay.
In 42 games, he has 21 hits, 9 home runs. He's only batting 148. He has 142 at bats, and he's striked out 70 times. Half of those at bats have been strikeouts. Half.
Yeah, he's a poor man's Adam Dunn who, newsflash, didn't get anybody to the playoffs either.
Oh, and even more absurd, that stat that I gave you the other day, Storms, or I gave both of you guys, when the Mets were in the Subway Series, when Gallo got a sacrifice fly against the Mets, that's his second career sacrifice fly in 7 years. Second.
And this is why I said he's a poor man's Adam Dunn. They are the same player. Gallo's just a little more athletic. A little better in the field, stronger arm. But at the plate, they're the same player. He just hits less home runs than Dunn.
How do you have only 2 sacrifice flies in 7 years? That's mind blowing. That's like me saying it's the opposite side of the spectrum when we were talking about Joey Votto popping up to the infield after 11 years or something like that.
It took it was over 10,000 at bats and something like almost 28,000 pitches that he saw before he popped out to first base for the first time.
That's stupid. And Gallo's on the opposite side of the spectrum.
Right.
All right. So
way over there.
Yeah, let's talk about the Yankees. So you have Gallo.
Gallo probably swung and missed at the first 28,000 pitches that he saw. Anyway.
So I have 2 X factors, and one is obvious because we've been talking about it all year. It's their pitching. Their pitching has been better, but the problem is, can they continue to ride that wave they were on when they were on the winning streak? Because they won 13 straight, but there was a point where they actually their pitching was really, really a lot better than what people were giving them credit for. So hats off to them, but they have to continue doing what they were doing. And my other X factor with them is Anthony Rizzo. Rizzo came over and he absolutely, yes. He was that left-handed bat that they needed. He is that player that they needed. And you know, if he continues to rake and he continues to hit and he continues to do what he was doing when he first came over, they can make some noise. He's the player that's been there on that team and done that. And if he gives him that leadership, he can take them into the playoffs.
Question.
Yes.
Tell me if this is a hot take. If the Yankees didn't trade for Rizzo, the Gallo trade would be viewed as the worst one of the entire season.
Yes.
As far as how the player actually panned out.
Yes. Yeah. Because
the only reason it's not getting that attention is because overall they won at the trade deadline for the moves that they did make, but it's only because they brought Rizzo in on top of Gallo.
Yeah. And thank God that Rizzo has worked out for them, because you know how that media is in New York. And you know, that they would have made, if they would have made those two trades and neither one work out. And just to give you also some numbers on Rizzo, he's been hitting 259 in 33 games, and he's the complete opposite of Rizzo. He's only striked out 20 times and 116 at bats. So he's playing really well for them, and he's also driven in 17 runs in those 33 games, excuse me. So he's exactly what they needed, that leadership, and exactly what they need. What do you got, Ty? Who do you have?
So surprisingly, this team is the first time and only time I ever do this, and damn it, he's in the back of my head. So Vic Jr., please do not, watch the show, because I'm giving you another shout out. My X factor is going to be Aaron Boone. When it comes to the Yankees, and he's a young manager, he knows his baseball acumen is very sharp. I mean, the guy was on Baseball Tonight and was an analyst for years, so he knows the game and he knows it well. And as a former player, some struggle, Dave Roberts included, with transitioning from player to manager. And sometimes you can lack that leadership, that voice, that sternness. And sometimes you can coddle your players. I'm not saying this is what Aaron Boone does, because, I mean, obviously his first 2 seasons, they won 100 games, but we're still, missing out, on the big dance and getting into the World Series. And I know it's high expectations, once again, young GM, but leadership plays a huge part as far as getting over the hump when you have this much talent, top from bottom. So unfortunately, you can't place it, on management, like ownership too much. I mean, you can, ask, hey, where's Steinbrenner at? Where's, other key office personnel, and you can't solely place it on Aaron Boone. But from what I'm hearing and reading from fans, media, pundits, is that he's too easy on his players, and that goes a long way. I mean, yes, he's a laid back manager, and there have been laid back managers for the Yankees in the past, Girardi, Torre, but I don't know. And I think that's the key. If he lights a fire under this Yankees, team, that would be the key for them having postseason success. That's my X factor. I'm sticking to it.
Yankees. Are we gonna talk about the Oakland Saints?
The New Orleans A's.
The New Orleans A's.
Yeah, we got
somebody on that team need LASIK eye surgery. Is that what you're saying, Trev?
Man, seemed like it worked week 1. So we ain't gonna talk about that. But
Jameis Manea.
we gonna keep it with you, Ty. Talk about the A's, man. Oakland A's, man.
Oh man, this is a hard team to pin, because I know who I want to say is their obvious X factor. That's Marte. I mean, dude has to. That's the obvious one. And there's nobody that really comes to mind that can take his place. So I'll have to stick with him. Like, if he's locked in, that's going to be the key for them to get over that hump and have some success in the postseason. He has to play out of this world, out of his mind, out of his body. He has to. And I hate to put that pressure on you, but this is the reality of the situation.
This is why they traded for you.
Yep.
Does anybody have his numbers up right now? Isn't he hitting something like 380 since he got to Oakland?
I can look it up real quick. I'll tell
He's
you.
322
Something crazy.
on the
Something
season,
crazy.
I think it was.
Yeah.
I mean, because his batting average for the whole season is 320 or 322 or something.
So he's in 40 games. He has 4 home runs, 20 RBIs, 8 walks, and he's hitting 345. That's
345.
absurd.
Wow.
We tell you guys, 1 for 3 is Hall of Fame numbers, and this man is doing better than that since coming over in the trade.
How many stolen bases does he have since the trade?
Oh yeah, he has 23. No,
Wow. That's for the season though.
no, that's for the season.
No, he's got like 50 for the season almost, doesn't he? Isn't he like 44 or something?
Oh, he does. He has 4. I think he has 45 in total.
Yeah,
that's insane.
Yeah,
wait,
so
I need to check that. I need to check that. That can't be right.
He balling.
That's
balling.
right.
Yes, but shout out to
right.
Matt Olson. I wanted to say Matt Olson could get somewhere in that conversation too, but that's
He does.
I
He
can't
does.
go. Yeah, so
But
it's like to Matt Olson.
But no, Marte had something like it was some crazy like 9 stolen bases in his first week with the team or something like that with the A's. But
that's crazy. He does have 45. Oh my god,
Yeah.
I can't believe
On the
that.
season.
Balling.
Damn.
Yeah.
Balling.
So
32 years old, 10 years in the league, and he has 45 stolen bases, which he ties his actual no, he doesn't
Career
tie.
high?
This is it his career high right? No, he's only 2 behind his career high in 2016, which wasn't that his
Ghost of
MVP?
Ricky Henderson has returned.
That was that's
all right,
crazy.
now let's this is 45, it's not 90.
Simmer
I
down
mean, at
now.
his age, that's still impressive.
No, it is. That's what? I'm glad you said that. That's something I'm going to end up looking up later. Is if anyone as old as him has ever stolen that many bases.
Yeah, that's actually a good thing to look up. That's a good pick, man. But I'm gonna go with a unit that has struggled for them as of late, and they have to pick it up if they're gonna make it into the playoffs. Their bullpen. Their bullpen has been atrocious in the last 3 weeks. The last
They had
3
one
weeks,
last year.
Yep. And the
Just
last, they're only 4 games out, and in the last 3 weeks, they've blown 8 games, and 6 of those have turned into losses. Their pitching staff has not been good either. And what is the first thing we talk about when we talk about playoff teams? Pitching. Pitching is probably going to get you to, where you want to be and where you want to go, whether it's a starting rotation or the bullpen. A shout out to the Rays because they do it with no pitching staff in the bullpen, but you need to have one or the other. And if you don't have one or the other, you're not going to get far in the playoffs. These games are usually within 2-3 runs. And if your pitching staff is allowing 6-7 runs and blowing a lead mid-game or late in the game, you're not going to make the playoffs. You just need to be solid on the back end, and they haven't been. You cannot afford in 16 games that are left to blow, let's say, 3 or 4 and have 4 extra losses because of your bullpen. That's not going to get you to the playoffs.
Nope, that'll get you finishing 2 games out.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
What do you got, Storms?
So like Ty said, it's really, really hard to not pick Marte, but just for the sake of throwing a new name out there, I got Chris Bassett. This is a guy that everybody thought was done for the year. It's not for sure that he's gonna come back, but he said he expects to. He threw a bullpen session today, so if he can come back, that will give, with him and Manea, that will give them 2 starting pitchers that you can count on to go out there and give you 5 or 6 quality innings. And you cannot win a series in the postseason without having at least 2 of those guys. So, I think Bassett's only played 2 games since like late June or July. So, there may be a little bit of a tune-up period with him, depending on how long it takes for him to come back. If he does, that could play a factor. But if he comes back and can be the Chris Bassett that we all know and love, he's going to give them a good chance to make some noise if they get in. So that may be more of an X factor for the playoffs than getting to the playoffs, given the situation he's in. But that's why I mentioned Marte to begin with. So we good.
We good.
So
and then there was one.
Yep. Last but not least, one of the biggest surprise I think at this wild card race.
Definitely.
The Seattle Mariners. The Seattle Mariners have not been relevant since
Randy Johnson, Martinez, John Olerud, King Griffey Jr.,
Garo Martinez.
Yep.
Yep.
Jay
And
Buhner.
They ain't been relevant.
they are now relevant, and they are young.
And I don't know how they're relevant or young, because like across the board, they're not great at anything. They're
Oh yeah, they are. And I'm gonna give you something that they're great at.
great. Define great here.
Listen to this. Listen to this. This metric is called clutch. So this metric measures how well a player or team hits in high leverage situations compared to how they hit normally. And earlier this year, August 26th, this metric has been around since 1974. The Seattle Mariners ranked number 1 ever since 1974, since they kept the stat, at 8.53. The second best team is the 2016 Rangers at 8.2.
How many websites did you have to go to before you found
Right?
that?
I'm like, wait, yeah, this is some serious research. This is journalistic research right here.
So that's why you got to watch the dish. That's why
6 degrees of fan graphs.
That's why you keep the scene on your screen. They're
Exactly.
the best team ever in this metric on August 26th, and that's why they're so good. Not only that, they have 2 relievers in Drew Strickenrider and Casey Sadler, who have pitched a combined of 99.1 innings, almost 100 innings, and have a combined ERA of 1.27. That's amazing.
Take back my statement. Yeah, I take back
That's
my statement.
amazing. The bullpen has been amazing.
Can I change my X factor?
So Casey Sadler, he also had a 17-inning scoreless streak, and Drew Strickenrider had a 16.1 inning scoreless streak, and that was as of Sunday. I don't know if that ended because I haven't looked it up, but they have been that good. And not only that, they're on 30 and 18 in one-run games. Coming down the stretch and into the playoffs, you're telling me that that's not going to, bode well for them? And who expected? My X factor is that lineup in that bullpen for them.
If they had an ace, I'd say they had a chance to win the wild card spot. They don't, and their starting rotation is very suspect. So negative Ghost Rider.
Folks made a stat called clutch.
Man,
Wow.
how am I supposed to follow Billy Mays over here? But wait, there's more.
Right?
I'm not fit. Dude, I would talk to y'all online like what consisted it in all of it. But Cat 5, continue, man. What you got on the Mariners?
My X factor is actually going to be Kyle Seager. I know it is not fair to ask more of a guy who is already putting up career highs in, I got to go to the notes here. What was it? Strikeout rate, So low strikeout rate. No, I'm sorry. It was career high walk rate, career high home run total, and he's like 2 RBI away from his career high 2 or 3, something like that. But he's also posting a career high strikeout rate and a career low batting average. So I'm not necessarily asking this guy to be better across the board. I'm asking him to make better decisions at the plate.
Talk to your younger brother. That's what I'll say to Kyle. Talk to your younger brother.
But this the career low batting average is like, it's not just a career low. It's a career low by like 36 points. He's hitting 208. 34 home runs, 94 RBIs or whatever it is great. But when you're striking out more than you ever have and you're hitting less than you ever have, you're still not, I mean, you're helping the team, but not nearly as much as you could be.
Or you should.
Or should be, yeah. So that's my X factor because I didn't know all that shit Jorge just said about the relievers.
Right? He messed up mine, and I don't even want to go. I don't even want to do mine. Damn, Clutch. I'm gonna have to start looking up Clutch. Like, what is Clutch?
Dude, I swear we will talk about this after the show because it's a lot that may go in. It's some calculations, and they didn't get that from Skip Bayless. Thank God.
Guru's one of those sabermetrics guys. He's, Moneyball was inspired by Guru, but I'm gonna go ahead and I thought about Seager just because, I love the Seager family because I have the younger brother, the more talented brother of the brothers, Seager brothers. Corey, what's up, man? Anyway, my X factor for the Mariners, you have to go with Ty France. The Tyler France has, been that dude, and he's kind of like, whereas he goes, the Mariners go offensively. No disrespect to, other impressive numbers that other players on the team are doing, but I think France is that spark plug for their lineup, and he's shown that. And you look at how recently they've been kind of struggling. It's because he's struggling lately too. He'll pick it back up because he's pretty much almost like, borderline fringe 290, high 280s guy his whole career. The couple seasons that he's been in the majors. So Ty France, if you can carry and figure it out for the Mariners, you could have the last laugh and stick it to the Padres.
The Mariners also just dropped a big series to the Red Sox.
Huge. They also made me want to spit, when they dropped a huge series of opportunity against the Astros. And shout out to my guy, Mac Miles, who's a resident Mariners fan, the only Mariners fan I know. Why, I don't know, but because he's from Cali, and I'm like, why you pick the Mariners?
AJ Myers, bro.
Oh, yeah, AJ, too.
Yeah, big time.
Oh, yeah. Can't forget AJ Myers. Yeah,
he out there catching fishes and shit.
He's Seattle everything.
Salmon and all that.
He still roots for the Sonics.
Bring back the Sonics.
Mess around and may be back there too.
Yeah.
Mess around may be back.
Condolences for the for the loss by the Huskies the other day.
Oh God. Oh God.
And also I'm disappointed in y'all for not taking business against the team up north. But that's a conversation for another day.
Man, we told y'all we had a jam-packed show, man. We basically an hour and 30 minutes in. We're gonna wrap this up with final thoughts. I'm gonna start with Guru, man. Talk to the people, man. Final thoughts.
We're on the home stretch, everybody. 2 weeks left. Let's see who stays hot, who cools down, who makes the playoffs. We obviously have a couple of shows left before the end of the season. And it's exciting. What teams are going to finish in the wild card, what teams are going to go to playoffs, what team wants it. Are the young teams going to come out on top? Ty doesn't like young teams because he's always like, they let you down. But we'll see. Let's continue to have these great baseball talk. And maybe I'll bring another clutch metric next week.
Cat 5.
Like Guru said, man, this is the most exciting time of the season. When's the last time we had a 5-team race in both leagues with 2 weeks left?
It's been a while.
2018, right? Came close in 2018, right?
I think you may be
you
right.
asked me too fast. I can't think.
Get back to us on that.
Yeah. Yeah, but no, man, I'm just excited, man. Every game is important. Every single game is important unless the Orioles are playing the Rangers, and no one's watching that anyway. But yeah, man, I'm just excited to watch a lot of good baseball on this push to the playoffs, man. That's it. That's all I got. Go Reds.
This is the time of year that scoreboard watching is happening. Not only that, we also have football. When football comes around, playoffs are coming. So
yeah, if you're watching a game and you hear a big cheer out of the crowd and you don't know what the hell's going on because nobody even threw a pitch, it's probably because they flashed some scores up on the big screen.
Right.
Hey, Ty.
So final thought, despite me not liking young teams, I will recognize there's a lot of premier young talent that is doing their thing in the league. So shout out to everyone 25, no, I'll go 26 and under in the MLB doing it big in the show. So salute to all y'all. Also, I'm gonna keep it local. Arizona, you can bet on sports now. It's as of tomorrow, we would have a week of betting and a lot of free money going around, house money to play with. So shout out to also our sponsor, Monkey Knife Fights. Definitely use our promo code, the Scene. Make sure you get, that extra bonus for putting in a deposit, courtesy on us and our sponsors. So yeah, if you're in Arizona and you feel like gambling, now is the time. There's a lot of money going around and a lot of money to be made. If I disappear or if the next show I'm on an island with some, half naked lady serving me drinks.
First, you're gonna die.
I'm gonna die.
For not inviting us.
No, actually, I'll take that back. Not the drinks, but if I have some type of ownership in one of my favorite teams, like a small stake of ownership, I'm gonna definitely brag. Y'all know I won a lot.
You're gonna take ownership in the Giants? Is that what you're saying? San Francisco Giants?
Man. You mean the team that's gonna win the first wild card in the National League?
Man, y'all are some haters. Let me be great. Let me be great.
By the way, y'all should need a reminder by now, but the code is spelled THESCEN.
And they match up to $100, like Ty said, on us. So you put $100, you get $100 free. Go ahead and use the code.
The Scene with no E, the E is silent.
And if you win, we accept Facebook Pay because we expect half of those winnings.
That's our bookie right there. Category 5.
Hey man, if y'all look at this show and y'all see my eyes looking up and down, that means that I was doing exactly what Jorge was doing. Score watching. This is this time of the year. 2 more weeks. We will know who's in and who's out, except for that 5-team race that NL will be sorting out soon. But hey, man, this is why we do this, man. We love the game, man. We love the game of baseball. We fans. We're not fanatics. Well, certain people are. But hey, this your boy Trav. This is Ty, Guru, Cat 5. We're gonna holler at y'all next week, man. Holla.